सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. पंचाभिकेशन तो ध्यान श्लोक.
ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्सनोभिः पश्येम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम.
So we saw in the last verse that we had seen Chala Chala Niketaha. What is the wise person? Niketaha, abode, Achalam, Aruna, Achalam cha. So Achalam, okay. Arunascha, Achalam cha, Arunachala. So the Achalam, the Atma, that is the Niketa. That's your abode. In fact, that's you. For functioning, what is your abode? Chalam, the one that can move around. Okay. The idea is there is no dependency on anything. Practical things, you need a few things, you take a few things. Yeah. So like this you will find a lot of statements made, especially for the sadhus, etc. Okay. And yadrichako bhavet, yadricha prapta santushtaha, yadricha labha santushtaha. What chance brings him, he is happy with that. The idea is very little special effort is made for anything. Okay. Because you have understood the truth. Your purpose in life is over. So once your purpose in life is over, what other purpose can you claim to be? You cannot really say, I have this purpose left. You cannot really say, I have any purpose left, isn't it? Because once you gain moksha, what purpose are we talking about? Therefore, there cannot be any purpose in life. So, if there is no purpose in life, what are you doing? Then die. Or क्या? A purposeful life is as good as death. But prarabdha for the body is there and the mind is there. Therefore, life will continue. Let it continue. Therefore, you will do a few things. Generally, even though yadricha, labha, santushta, etc. Puja Swamiji was of the opinion, and I also agree with it 100%, that if you know the truth, you must start teaching the truth. Of course, once you know it well, this is important. There is nothing as bad as starting to be a hasty teacher. Teaching before you are really ready for it. There's nothing as bad as that. You will confuse yourself and others. Confusing yourself is your problem. Confusing others is damaging to the society. So once you know, you teach. Why? Because if those who know are going to keep quiet, those who don't know are going to teach. Which is a problem. Yeah, which is a problem actually. Yeah. That's why things like Neo Vedanta and all have come about. All this, what is bandied about by many organized Vedantas, meaning Vedantas which is taught by organizations. Very of them is Neo Vedanta, not the truth. You try to make it scientific, you try to make it this, you try to make it that. Yeah. I mean, the whole pramana is left behind. You make it experiential. So all that problem comes up Because those who don't know are teaching. Therefore, those who know better teach. So, yeah. So, that is the whole thing. Okay? Yadrichako Bhaved, etc. चराचल निकेति यति यादृच्छको भवेत्. Then he says, yeah, Kartik, you have a question.
Swamiji, towards the end of the last class,
Yeah?
you had described about having optimum nishta and then how the nishta grows.
Yeah.
My question is that what would be a few indicators for oneself that they have optimum nishta?
Difficult to say that. You have to refer back to second chapter of the Gita. Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudram apa. Yeah. How one this thing, how much at peace you feel, how much fulfilled you feel, how much emotionally dependent are you on things for happiness. How do you really feel that your life is incomplete because of a few things? Those would be some guidelines. It is very difficult to have a benchmarking other than these. Because I can delude myself into thinking I know the truth also. There used to be a young Sindhi girl attending my class. So she attended for some time. And then she would say, Aaj ganti baj gayi. Today it has clicked for me. No, Swamiji, really, Aaj ganti. I said, wait, we'll see what happens next month. True enough, you'll come and say, no, aaj really ganti baj gayi. You can delude yourself into thinking you know. And who has to be careful? Those of us who can speak well, communicate well, explain things well. Those of us who can do that have to be more careful about this. Okay, to share something personally because this will make sense to you. Very many years ago, when I was part of the study group movement, before I joined the ashram, there was an exhibition called India Through the Ages. Those who are 60 plus, 70 plus will remember that. It was a 3-month long exhibition. And it was somewhere in the 70s it was, early 70s. And so Ramakrishna Mission, Chinmaya Mission, all of us had stalls there in that. Okay. And once a week I would also volunteer for that, to be in the stall. I mean, what can you do in a Vedanta stall? Wait for a group of people to come and then you explain some things. So this was definitely before 72 or before 72. I had a thing of explaining things. Knack of communicating was there. So I remember a group of people came. So I explained some things, which is all New Vedanta, which I realized later. And after that, a young man came and he started having a discussion with me. He was right, I was wrong. He couldn't argue well enough, I could argue well enough. So whether I convinced him or not, I don't know, but I definitely confused him. Within 1 week of that, I attended Puja Swamiji's Dakshinamurti Stotram in Matunga. This was before Shankaramatam was built. The funds from that talk went for Shankaramatam temple. There I realized what I told this young man was wrong. So after that, every day I would drop in for half an hour at least to see if that young man was there. Hey, I was wrong, you are right, these are the arguments for a ticket. Didn't see him. That I decided then, I will not teach unless I have certain grounding in this. I will not teach. I will not confuse anyone anymore. It's important. Otherwise, in the name of saying, oh, we are just raising awareness, this, that, etc., we compromise too much, confuse people, put them on the wrong track. Not done. Yeah, because I have always been communicating something or the other, right from my school days, I remember. So, I could always explain what I knew or what I thought I knew. It was all conceptual that time. But that day I decided I may talk in the study group but nowhere else. Because study groups are discussions and there we will talk, but nowhere else. And everything I had taken as I know, I re-questioned it, challenged it. Because confusing someone on the path is a big papa, like, can't do it, not to be done. In spite of all your effort, if someone misunderstands, that is their prarabdha, that's a different thing. And that will happen. Shruta Hani or Shruta Kalpanam will happen. Because I know people come and tell me, Swamiji, you had said this in that class, no, and I am wondering, where did I ever say something like that? It's not possible for me to say something like that. That's a different thing. At least you have said all the right things. Yeah. So that's important. I mean, this was in 72. It's a long, long time back. More than 50 years ago, but I still remember that young man's face. Not done. These are not things to be done. We cannot do things like this. Does that mean we cannot have a discussion group or something? We can have. If you are going to discuss the Shastra, then yes. Or an explanation of the Shastra that is not just merely meant for public, but meant for serious students. If you are taking some work like that and having a discussion group, fine. Provided there is no head for it. If there is a head for it, I guarantee you he is destroyed. I'll guarantee that. Unless the person is already studied enough, then it is a different thing. Otherwise, he is destroyed. I have seen this happening so much. Many of our study groups, sevaks, lost souls, completely gone. Next lifetime, this lifetime there is no hope. Dogmatic. Because you have been saying the same thing, which is not correct, and what? You become dogmatic. And they will say things like that also. Vichar, achar, prachar. What achar you are eating, I don't know. Vichara is supposed to be with the Guru, that you are not done. Then what achara are you going to have? Prachara is half baked anyway. And I know there are people, not from the organization I belong to once upon a time, but other organizations who are in search for proper teaching. They listen to our recordings because the man has gone probably. Yeah. Other sannyasi, well known, comes and falls at your feet because he's been listening to your recording, means he's a serious seeker. But then when I listen to him, they are trying to blend what they have been organizationally taught and the Shastra and make a hodgepodge out of it. Bhelpuri doesn't work. Sometimes you have to accept that what I understood was wrong. It may be my organizational stand, but for moksha that doesn't work. I have to be able to say that. That much vairagya I need to have. I may still work in that organization, I may still support that organization, I may still do a lot of things for that organization. That is different. I am talking about sadhus from Ramakrishna Mission. Now, there are some great scholars, there are some very good people with great understanding of Vedanta. Many of the books that we are using is Ramakrishna Mission books. And there are some who are confused like this also. Organization teach what is not this thing because, see, many of these organizations came up at a time when there were very few teachers were teaching in public. So they had some mass approach. So some of them, for just the sake of making it popular, made some compromises with it. Intentions were good, nobody denies that. It's oversimplified it, projected it in a chart or something like that. That Om BMI PFT chart you will find in Swami Abhedananda's writings. The seeds of it is there long before Chinmaya Mission made it and used it. Abhedananda from Ramakrishna Mission. Yeah. So they simplified these things to help make it popular in the public mind. See, that was a time when those type of things were necessary. Because we are too much under colonial thinking. We had just gained independence. It was just post 1947 or just before that. So a lot of colonial thinking was there. To break that, they did these things. But this is not traditional teaching. Then they will find you have to now create a setup where the organization will continue. Like for example, Ramakrishna Mission does something very beautiful. For the organizational point, it's very good. The system works, though there has to be modified now in today's age. You join Ramakrishna Mission. You are taken to Almora, taught some basic things, parables of Ramakrishna, things like that. Some basic Vivekananda literature, very basic things are taught for a year or so. Then 12 years you are supposed to work in one of their centers. Excellent social work happens in all these centers. Excellent means excellent. Go to any of their ashrams or centers. Wonderful work. Really wonderful work. We all are nothing in the field of social work compared to them. Excellent work. But 12 years these boys are working there. Now I come for moksha, but I am working for 12 years there. After that 12 years, anyone who wants to study further, proper studies, will be supported by Ramakrishna Mission. You can go pick up any teacher you want and study from him. But after 12 years of a life like that, you got lulled into a false sense of security and believe that this is all that life is about. So many of them get stuck there, don't study further. In fact, 80% of them don't study further. 20% study further. Out of that 20%, 10% feel, half of them, 50% feel 12 years is too long, leave Ramakrishna Mission and go somewhere else. Because 12 years is a long time. cut it short to 5 years or something now in today's world. But the organization survives very well because of this free labor, no? Unpaid labor you are getting, dedicated people you are getting. So the organization survival is important. So do what is necessary for that. But this is a problem. And some of them by 12 years they have gained some importance in the organization, therefore they can't leave the organization, go somewhere. They will refer to videos by people like us, and then they try to mix it up. Belpuri. I know some very popular names, I will not mention those names, they are very popular names, very well known names. But this is where the problem is. The whole idea of starting Sandeepni was to create full-time teachers. Then it got bogged down with the study group politics. I know, I was all part of the whole thing. I know what happened there at those times. So, the job of someone who knows the truth, teach. You know the truth. You are well rooted into the truth. How do you know for sure you are ready to teach? Check up with your teacher. Check up with your teacher. Like in our setup formally now we have created something. For anyone to be a teacher must have done a full-time course. And the person who conducted the course should certify that this person is ready to be a teacher. What else is way we have? In spite of that, some rotten eggs can come through. That's a different thing. So, teaching. That's the only thing left for the person who knows the truth. And your life, whatever you are doing, do. Whatever your life, you have to keep things going, hand over things next generation. Because if you are learning this as a karma yogi, let us say you started at 50. By the time you finished the Gita, the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutras, etc., 10, 12 years are gone. Let us say by that time you have got some stability into this. Most people I find requires to study some things, at least some sections of it again. But okay. So how much work are you going to do now? You are in your 60s. Isn't it time to hand over things to the next generation? You are in your 60s, Baba. Let the next generation take care of things. What if the next generation is not interested? I have someone coming to me like that. Big industrialist. Second generation is not interested in running that show. So I sold it off. Gave each of my kids formed a trust for each of my 3 kids, 100 crores in each for each of them. With the interest, they can do what they want. But I said, this is not just to enjoy life, you must do something that you are interested in. So all of them are starting some business, etc. Some entrepreneurship, something. And what is he doing? Supporting people, including us. For our ashram, 50% of the funds for the ashram is coming from him. Live a life like that. Very keen on Vedanta. Every day, at least one video of mine he will watch every day. He still goes to the office, etc., to take care of all the philanthropy works now, not nothing else. Great way to live. Swamiji, that's all for the rich. I am a simple middle class person. Even better, you don't have anything else to do except Vedanta. Take care of your health, walking, exercise, etc. Some yoga, exercise, walking, this, that. Take care of your health. Study, more care. Great way to be, na? Even better than that guy. You have enough to live a simple life. Good. Okay. But I always find people, middle class people who are retired, my uncle's, nephew's, daughter's, son's wedding, I will go for. Not met that character for 20 years, but I'll go for that wedding. Why? Time structuring. Abhi time hai na. They will come back and crib about half the things. Crib about the journey, crib about the people, crib about the wedding, crib about... Why are you doing? You've not met those people for 20 years in your life anyway. It's called time pass activities. Because you have time on your hands, you don't know what to do with them. Anyway, that's a different thing. Let us leave it at that. Then, concluding that section, the last verse of the Vaitritya Prakarana, he says, Tattvam adhyatmikam drishtva, tattvam drishtva tu bahyatah, tatvi bhutah tadaramaha, tattva aprachyato bhavet. Tattvam adhyatmikam drishtva. See the reality as yourself. What are you? Satyajnanam Ananta. Opening eyes, seeing the world. What is outside? Tattvam itself. You look at yourself, only the reality is there. You look outside, only the reality is there. At the most you can say, here only the reality is there. Close my eyes, I see only the reality. Open my eyes, I see the reality and names and forms. Okay. Either way, what is there? The reality, nothing else. Okay. Bahyata, outside. I, the reality. Outside, the reality. In fact, really speaking, no inside, outside. No? Really speaking, no inside, outside, because there is only one consciousness. Inside, outside, kidhar hai? There is only consciousness. Consciousness with a name and form here. Interacting with consciousness, a name and form there. So not to miss the consciousness in all your interactions. Here, there. What is there? Other than consciousness. Nothing. Names and forms. Names and forms are dependent on what? Consciousness. So what is there? Consciousness. If you know the Mithyatvam, then what is the problem of names and forms? Names and forms don't make up entities. That's why you're using the word names and forms. They are not entities. There's only one entity, consciousness. Existence, consciousness is only entity. Manifest in a million names and forms. So not to miss the one when you're dealing with the names and forms. And the dealing can be, it need not always be, oh, peaceful, calm. It can be in any way. So, whether you are fighting a battle or having a dinner with friends, the same consciousness everything. That is the same thing. Tatvi bhutaha tadaramaha. Tatvi bhutaha. You understood this, it's now a fact of your life. You are that consciousness. Tadaramaha. You are reveling in that only. Okay? You are reveling in that only. Okay? Yeah. Ramaha. As it turns, one who enjoys. Like you are different. In South India there is an expression. Shapad Rama. Shapad Rama is what? Foodie. His whole delight is in food only. And he gets up, he's thinking, hey, chai ka saath kya khayega? Because North India there is this custom. You can't have just plain tea. You must have something. Otherwise, you can have acidity. Then at morning tea, you are thinking of breakfast. Breakfast, you are thinking of lunch. In between mid-morning snack. At lunchtime, you are thinking of tea and what you will have at tea. Tea time, you are thinking of dinner. That time. Foodie. Why you are reveling in food? Here, you are reveling in the self. Anandohamiti. Anando. That little exaggerated to show that you are a fulfilled being. Yeah, completely fulfilled. You don't need anything to become happy. You may need a few things to manage your life. You may need a few things to manage your life. Cook has not turned up today. Cook has not turned up. So, kya karo? You have to manage, no? You have to do a few things. I don't have to. Long back in my life, I did some Annapurna Upasana. So, what happens is good things come when my cook doesn't turn up. Like today, Dal Pakwan turned up. Politics. So, see, acha hi hai. Yeah, Anu, you have a question.
Namaste Swamiji, quick question.
Yeah.
Just like this reveling, I just want to make sure, even at our stage, as you said, like once you have a little knowledge, what else is there to do? We revel, right? So, I mean, that's the natural reaction, is that everything becomes reveling.
Correct. So, when you are studying, your lifestyle will be Karma Yoga. Lifestyle will be Karma Yoga. Ishwararpanam Prasad Buddhi, that will take care of the functioning world enough so that this knowledge can flow through into your life. Once that is there, things flow through. And
Thank you. But there's a sense of reveling. I just wanted to clarify that even for us, right? Like when you see the reality and you just enjoy it so much.
Of course,
Thank you.
This is what you've been seeking all your life. Lifetimes you have been seeking enough that fulfillment. A human life is meant for fulfillment. Other things are by the way. Because I don't know what gives me fulfillment, I look for other things. And now some of them have become entrenched desires. So I need to work for that. So work for it. So that's where Karma Yoga comes in. And study in the meantime. Then those few things will be satisfied. Been there, done that. And then this knowledge keeps growing in you, and before you know it, you're fine. For yourself at least, you're fine. Then why do you keep studying? You keep studying because greater clarity comes in, greater nishtha comes in. This is what even in the Brahma Sutras it is said, Avritihi asakrat upadeshat. This is sutra in the end of the first chapter. Pavana Punyena, based on this sentence, Pavana Punyena Shravanam Kuryat. Not with great punya or something, Punaha Punaha, again and again do Shravanam. Because you may delude yourself into thinking that you know when it's not really clear. Like how I am deluded, I don't know the truth when I start studying. That's not a delusion, that's a fact. But I don't know the truth, I am seeking the truth. I am a seeker. I am a seeker is a deluded statement, isn't it? You are the sought, not the seeker. That's the teaching. So similarly, after some learning, I may have the delusion, I already know the truth. So, keep listening. So that type of delusions don't happen. Greater clarity will keep coming in. And along with that, some nididhyasana, etc. may be necessary. Because to own up and make it my own may be necessary. So that's all that's there. Lifestyle is very simple actually. Sadhana is also very simple. All the sadhana is getting this mind ready, that's all, nothing else. This monkey mind of mine has to settle down. That's all that is necessary. Okay.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
I mean, that is where I suppose when the mind settles down and a certain maturity comes in,
Yeah.
In your interactions with the world, I guess that's where my confusion lies, is that versus jnana nishta, how to not confuse the two of them, right? Because it feels very close, a mature person and
it looks like, no, therefore the question is how fulfilled you are then. Mature mind settles down, even for a mature person. For a viveki, it settles down. But are you a fulfilled being? Can you say, for my happiness I don't need anything? Nothing can add to my happiness, or nothing can take away from my sense of fulfillment. So that is the whole thing. The test lies there actually. Therefore he says, Tatvi bhutaha tadaramaha tatvat aprachito bhavet. See that you do not deviate from this, he says. How can you deviate from this? If you know the truth properly, if you want it up, you cannot deviate. But you can deviate if the nishtha is not there. Why? Okay, I am studying. Then I find some non-traditional ways of presenting it. Hey, that's good. Let me see how AI is presenting it. Like I have this champion. It's difficult for him to learn from any one person. So now he keeps sending me WhatsApp messages of what he has written using AI. I said, yes, let AI be your guru. Don't make me your guru. No, AI can brush up some information available and present it. That it does a good job. Nobody says no to that. If you are writing an article and you use the help of AI judiciously, I can understand. But half the time I can make what this is AI article. This is not generated by this guy. Most of the times you can make that out. So, what are we doing? Deviating from the truth, isn't it? Yeah. Or I have discovered a new way. I know how to present it in a tabular form. Yeah. What is limitless is going to be put into a table form. I find this happening among teachers also sometimes. What tabulation are you going to do? That's conceptualization. Don't. So, you can deviate in 100 different ways. No? Another way of deviating is your prarabdha can take over. See, prarabdha can be very funny. You started as a serious seeker, but prarabdha pulled you in different directions. At that time, sometimes the prarabdha is strong, you have to go along with it, you can't fight it. Prabala prarabdha, I call it. You can't fight that, you have to go along with that. So go along with it. But even when you are going along with it, don't lose sight of the truth. That's important. Keep the studies going, keep the thing going. That way, from the tattvat aprachito bhaveda. Don't fall away from the whole thing. Don't lose track of that. Like I know this young man is not so young now. In fact, he's quite a well-known industrialist in South. He wanted to study full-time. His aunt comes and tells me, Ramonji, he looks up to you. Please tell him not to become a full-time student. I said, how can I do that? How can I tell someone not to do something which I am doing? I said, give me the background. Then it turned out, his father has died early, they are running an industry. If he leaves, there will be nobody else to look after the industry. There's no brother, no sister, no cousin, no one who can run it. It'll collapse. 200 people will be on the road. This is the situation. I said, yeah, this guy's prarabdha is both good and bad. He's got a great prarabdha to be an industrialist. But it is bad because it's pulling him away from us. So I sat down, had a talk to him. I didn't tell him, do this, do that. I don't do that. I gave him a perspective of things, what will happen if he works out, what will happen. I said, you are your own boss. The ashram is starting right where you are. He's from Coimbatore, right where you are. Attend Swamiji's morning and evening classes. You are the boss. You can dictate the timing that you keep. Attend the morning class, go, finish your work, this, that, come back in time for the evening class, attend it. But keep the industry going. You will get your knowledge, you will be able to take care of the prarabdha, and 200 people will not be on the roads. 200 employees will not be on the road. So this is one way of doing it. Other way, you have always the right to say, forget all that, I am going to be full time. You have the right to say that. But just keep in mind that 200 people will be on the road. And with all the debts, this, that, etc., how will your family survive? Your mother is getting old and she's the only person left in the family. What will happen to her? So he thought for some time and decided to do that. So now look at it. He took care of what had to be done, but he never deviated away from the truth. Are you getting what I am trying to say? Are you hearing me or not hearing me?
So, Swami, we can hear you, but I think your video...
Yeah, I think there is some problematic connection, I think.
Swami, I can hear you very clearly.
Okay, you can hear me all right, fine.
You are joking, huh?
Yeah, now I think you got it right.
Yeah, Swamiji, you are okay.
Yeah, and the connection had gone off, that's all. So I reconnected, yeah. So that is the thing. At any cost, ensure that your pursuit is not off. The more connected you feel with this, things will happen in life. Life is what happens when you're planning other things. So a lot of things will happen. You have no choice about those things. But in all of them, in spite of all the prarabdha, you can work out your learning. You can work out. Yeah. So that thing can always be done. That is the important thing. That he says, no, don't fall away from the learning. Don't fall away from that. Yeah. That means what? Anishta paryantam. Keep at it until you are rooted in this knowledge. And how do you know you are rooted? Remember? Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastani swapake cha. Okay. Shanai cha swapake cha. So to look at everything, to not miss what is the same in everything. You may be in a battle with someone. You may be in a fight with someone. That's okay. That's functional. Can you deny the fact that this idiot that you are going to whack is nothing but consciousness? Oh, I love this person so much. Nothing but consciousness. Can't stand this idiot. He's nothing but consciousness. Don't stand him. I'm not saying you should stand him. Hey, don't convert it into should and shouldn't. Oh, because his consciousness, I should be one with. No, it may not be feasible. The terror is also nothing but consciousness. So, the whole thing, to be able to see this fact, irrespective of how you're functioning. Functioning is functioning, big deal. It is not in the lifestyle that you are leading, in the dress that you are wearing. None of these. It's what you have here and what you have here. And if this has gone up to here, you're fine. Like that lady asking Sumo Hang, the martial artist. Sumo, can I learn martial art? Of course, I'll teach you. Can I get a black belt? Of course. Really? Yeah. When? Tomorrow. Can go one and buy from Walmart. Black belt, okay, buy one from. I don't want to buy one, I want to earn one. Martial art is not about black belt. It is about what you have here and what you have here. Same way in Vedanta. It's not about the dress you wear or the work that you do. What you have here, what you have here. Has this gone through here? Or is it just leaking through the mouth? Swami Chinmayanji. What has gone in through the ears will leak from the mouth. That is where the whole thing is. With that, we come to an end of the Vaitatya Prakarana, Mithyatvam of the thing. Okay? Yeah, the same thing. So, that industrialist is what how he arranged his life so that you could get both of it. You know? Yeah. Because you can manage something. Yeah. You manage your time, you manage your this. So, Vaitatya Prakaranam comes to an end. That means Mithyatvam you are clear. If Mithyatvam you are clear, what is left? Look at it. Agama, the Pramana you are taken care of. Mithyatvam you have understood. What is left?
Advaita.
Clarity of Advaita, that's all that is there. No? See, the Agama deals with Advaita. What prevents your understanding or get shaky understanding is not deciding upon Mithyatvam of the world. Once you see the Mithyatvam of the world, Advaitam becomes clearer. So the next section is Advaita Prakarana, where he is looking at it more logically and things like that. Then not merely from the Shastra, but Shastra Anukula Tarka. Shastra Anukula Tarka. Tarka logic in keeping with the Shastra. We'll see the Advaita part. Alright, Advaita is also clear. Abhi kya baki hai? Owning it up, making it your own. So Alata Shanti. Alata Shanti. Make it your own. So very nicely graded also, presented in a nice logical manner. But that Advaita Prakarana we will see in the next class. Next class we'll start with that. Okay. Think it over. If there are any questions, shoot. Mithya is an upadhi of Chaitanya. You can say that. Yes. Yeah. All upadhis are mithya anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So take care. I hope all of you enjoyed your Diwali and fine. We'll meet again.